Welcome to another deep dive, folks. Today we're tackling cybersecurity, going way deeper than the usual password advice. We've got Texto Colado to guide us, so get ready for a wild ride.
It's a great choice of topic. Cybersecurity is always evolving, right? But we tend to hear the same old tips. It's like telling people to lock their front door but forgetting about the open windows.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So we need to think beyond the basics. The source material even mentions different kinds of hackers. I mean, I always thought a hacker was a hacker, but I guess it's more nuanced than that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You've got your black hat hackers, the ones focused on crime and chaos. But then there are others like script kiddies who basically use pre-made hacking tools. They're more like digital vandals than masterminds.
So different levels of sophistication, I guess.
Yeah.
Are there hackers who aren't necessarily criminals, though? I mean, like those hacktivists you hear about?
You're right. They use their skills for causes they believe in, like political or social change. But even with good intentions, their actions can be illegal and cause harm. It's a gray area for sure.
It's like Robin Hood gone digital, stealing data for a cause. But speaking of digital dangers, what about those viruses and malware? Is it still as simple as avoiding sketchy websites?
It's gotten trickier. Think about polymorphic malware. It's constantly changing its code so it can sneak past antivirus software. It's like a digital chameleon blending in.
That's unsettling. So even with good antivirus software, we're not completely safe. Speaking of which, the source material talks about both traditional antivirus and something called behavioral analysis tools. What's the difference?
That's a great question. Traditional antivirus looks for known threats, like comparing a virus to a mugshot. But behavioral analysis is more like observing suspicious activity. It flags any program that's acting shady, even if it's a brand new kind of malware.
So it's less about recognizing a specific face and more about recognizing bad behavior. Sounds pretty clever. The source material also mentions free antivirus software and suggests there might be some downsides.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that. Is free antivirus too good to be true? It often comes with limited protection. Some even gather and sell your browsing data. Imagine hiring a security guard who gossips about your every move. Not ideal, right?
Not at all. So choosing security software is a big decision, like picking a locksmith. You wouldn't just go with the cheapest option without checking their reputation.
Precisely. Now, another thing your source material emphasizes is the danger of public Wi-Fi, even for seemingly harmless things.
Right. I've always been told to avoid online banking on public Wi-Fi. But is browsing or social media risky too?
Even browsing can be risky. Think about it. Someone nearby with a packet sniffer could capture your data as it travels across the network. Passwords, credit card numbers, even your browsing history, all transmitted in plain text.
That's enough to make me think twice before connecting to that free cafe Wi-Fi. The source material mentions VPNs as a solution, but are they really foolproof?
VPNs can definitely help, but remember, free VPNs might slow you down or even collect your data. And even with paid VPNs, you need to choose a provider with strong security practices. It's like choosing any service. You got to do your research.
So just like with passwords, it's about making informed choices and not taking shortcuts. Speaking of passwords, the source material mentions biometric authentication, like fingerprint scanning. Is that the future of security?
Biometrics have their pros and cons. Fingerprint scanning is easy but can be tricked. Iris scanning is more secure but needs special hardware. It's all about weighing convenience and security.
It seems like with cybersecurity, it's always a balancing act. Finding the right tool for the right situation and understanding the trade-offs. But technology is only part of the story, right? The source material also dives into something called social engineering. Oh yeah, that's how those phishing emails almost got me. It's scary how convincing they can be.
Absolutely. They play on our emotions or trust. They might use urgency, fear, or even excitement to trick us into clicking a bad link or downloading a dangerous file.
So it's not just about spotting a suspicious email, it's about being aware of our own vulnerabilities in that moment. The source material also talks about something called our digital footprint. What exactly is that? Is it just about deleting embarrassing photos from Facebook?
It's much bigger than that. Your digital footprint is everything you do online. Websites you visit, purchases you make, comments you post, everything. It's like a trail of digital breadcrumbs revealing your habits, interests, and even your location.
So even if we think we're being careful, we're constantly leaving traces of ourselves online. That's a little creepy, isn't it?
It can be. That information can be used in many ways. Hackers might tailor their attacks, advertisers might target you with specific ads, or even potential employers might check it out. It's all out there.
So it's less about hiding and more about being mindful of what we share and how we manage our online presence.
Exactly. It's about taking charge of your digital identity and shaping the story you want to tell.
It's like building a house. You need a strong foundation and ongoing maintenance to keep it safe and secure.
It really is like building a house, you know? Cybersecurity is about laying those bricks carefully and making sure the structure is sound.
Exactly. And the source material stresses that it's not just about protecting ourselves either. It's about spreading that cybersecurity awareness to our families, our communities, our workplaces.
It's like herd immunity, but for the digital world. If everyone's practicing good habits, the overall risk goes down significantly.
That's a great analogy. We can all play a part in making the internet a safer place. And, speaking of protecting ourselves, the source material has a whole section on data backups. I'll admit I've been guilty of neglecting this one.
I think a lot of people do, but it's so crucial not just for those precious photos and files, but for businesses as well. Think about it. For individuals, backups are a safety net against ransomware or hard drive crashes. But for businesses, a solid backup and recovery plan can prevent a total shutdown.
So it's not just peace of mind. It's about ensuring our businesses can keep running smoothly. And while we're on the topic of businesses, the source material also talks about cybersecurity training for employees. Makes sense, right?
Oh, absolutely. Even with the best tech in place, one careless click can open the door to a cyber attack. Human error is a huge factor.
So it's not just about having the best software. It's about making sure everyone knows how to use it and how to spot those threats. The source material also dives into AI and cybersecurity, which sounds super futuristic.
It is. AI is being used in all sorts of ways, from detecting threats in real time to analyzing huge amounts of data to predict attacks. Imagine a security cog that never sleeps and is constantly learning.
That's pretty incredible. But the source material also raises concerns about AI being used by the bad guys, too.
That's the double-edged sword of any powerful technology, right? As AI gets smarter, hackers could use it to create even more sophisticated attacks. It's a bit of a cat-and-mouse game.
It seems like with cybersecurity, we always have to be one step ahead. But constantly worrying about attacks can be exhausting. The source material actually talks about something called security fatigue.
Yes, security fatigue. It's that feeling of being overwhelmed by all the threats, all the warnings. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose of information.
I definitely feel that sometimes. It's easy to just tune it all out, especially when we're bombarded with security alerts and updates. So how do we avoid that fatigue without becoming complacent?
It's about finding that balance. Simplifying security where possible. Strong, unique passwords. Password managers enabling two-factor authentication. These are small steps that make a big difference.
So it's about making smart choices that don't require a ton of effort and making sure everyone's on board with security, not just the IT department.
Exactly. When everyone takes ownership, it becomes less overwhelming. Plus, it creates a more resilient organization. And speaking of resilience, that's another key concept from the source material.
The source mentions cyber resilience, but doesn't go too deep. What does it mean exactly?
It's not just about preventing attacks. It's about bouncing back quickly when they happen. It's about accepting that breaches are a possibility and having plans in place to minimize the damage and recover swiftly.
So it's about having that backup generator ready to go when the power goes out. How do we actually build that cyber resilience, though?
It's multifaceted. Understand your critical assets have strong backups, create incident response plans, and make sure communication channels are clear. But it's also about continuous improvement. Regular testing vulnerability assessments, updating security practices, and training employees to spot and report anything fishy.
It's about weaving cyber resilience into the fabric of the organization, not just ticking boxes on a checklist. And it's about staying informed, right? Like the source material suggests, attending conferences, reading blogs, and participating in online forums.
Absolutely. Staying curious is key. Cybersecurity is constantly evolving, so we need to keep learning and adapting. But remember, it's not just about absorbing information. It's about turning that knowledge into action.
Right. It's about taking those small steps every day to protect ourselves and our organizations. Whether it's choosing a strong password or being mindful of what we click on online, every action counts.
Exactly. It's about building a culture of cybersecurity where everyone feels empowered to make a difference. It's a never-ending process, isn't it? But that's what makes cybersecurity so fascinating. It's a constant challenge.
Definitely keeps us on our toes. But the source material emphasizes that it's not just about reacting to threats. It's about being proactive and anticipating them, like a chess game almost.
That's a great analogy, and one of the key concepts they highlight is threat modeling. It's about putting yourself in the attacker's shoes, trying to identify potential vulnerabilities before they exploit them.
So it's like a pre-mortem for cybersecurity, trying to figure out how things could go wrong before they actually do. But how do we even begin to think like a hacker? I mean, it's not like we're all master criminals.
Well, that's where things get interesting. Threat modeling involves a structured approach to identifying assets like your data and systems, and then analyzing potential threats and vulnerabilities. It's a way to systematically assess risk and prioritize your security efforts.
So it's about being strategic rather than just throwing a bunch of security measures at the problem and hoping for the best.
Exactly. It's about understanding your specific risks and tailoring your defenses accordingly. The source material also talks about the importance of penetration testing, which is a more hands-on approach to threat assessment.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Isn't that where you hire ethical hackers to try and break into your systems?
Precisely. It's like a controlled experiment where you give these white hat hackers permission to probe your defenses and find any weaknesses. It's a great way to identify vulnerabilities that you might have missed otherwise.
So it's like a real-world stress test for your cybersecurity. But wouldn't that be incredibly risky? I mean, what if they actually manage to steal data or disrupt operations?
That's why it's crucial to work with reputable and experienced penetration testers who have a proven track record and a clear understanding of ethical hacking principles. They'll work within agreed-upon parameters and report their findings so you can fix any vulnerabilities before real attackers exploit them.
So it's about turning the tables on the bad guys, using their tactics to strengthen our defenses.
Exactly. And that brings me to another important point from the source material: the importance of incident response planning. Even with the best defenses in place, breaches can still happen. So it's crucial to have a plan for how to respond quickly and effectively.
Like a fire drill for cybersecurity.
Yeah.
But what does a good incident response plan actually entail?
It involves several key steps. First, you need to contain the damage and prevent the attack from spreading further. Then you need to investigate the incident to understand what happened, how it happened, and who is responsible. Next, you need to remediate the vulnerability to prevent a similar attack from happening again. And finally, you need to recover any lost data and restore your systems to normal operation.
So it's a multifaceted process that involves technical expertise, communication skills, and a cool head under pressure.
Absolutely. And the source material stresses the importance of regular testing and updating your incident response plan. You don't want to be figuring things out on the fly when a real attack happens.
That's a great point. It's like anything else. Practice makes perfect. And speaking of practice, the source material also highlights the value of tabletop exercises as a way to prepare for cyber incidents.
Oh, those are fantastic. Tabletop exercises are simulations where you gather your team and walk through different scenarios, like a ransomware attack or a data breach. It's a safe space to test your plans, identify gaps, and improve your communication and decision-making skills.
So it's like a dress rehearsal for a cyber attack.
Yeah.
But instead of actors, you've got your real incident response team working through the scenario.
Precisely. It's a great way to build muscle memory and ensure everyone knows their roles and responsibilities, and it helps identify areas where your plan might need tweaking.
It's all about being prepared, isn't it? Cybersecurity is not just about reacting to threats. It's about anticipating them, planning for them, and constantly evolving our defenses.
Well said. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd like to leave our listeners with a few key takeaways. First, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, not just the IT department. It's about creating a culture of awareness and vigilance. Second, stay curious. Keep learning. Keep exploring. New threats are emerging all the time, so we need to be constantly updating our knowledge and skills. And third, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a vast community of cybersecurity professionals and resources available to support you. You're not alone in this journey.
I think that's a great message to end on. Cybersecurity can feel overwhelming at times. But by taking small steps, being proactive, and working together, we can create a safer and more resilient digital world for everyone. So to our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Stay safe out there and keep exploring.